Hi guys and welcome back. There is a big news that just came out. Uniswap is finally starting to distribute fees to token holders. To be fair, it's still a proposal, but the probability is to see it live soon. It's pretty high. And if it will go live, it will be the 7th of March. So mark this day because this is the day that will change everything. The point is that it's not just about Uniswap. Yes, that's great. If you are a token holder of Uni, you already benefit for a 40%, 60% just in a couple of hours. But the point is that this is literally turnaround for the whole DeFi ecosystem. Literally, what we were looking for in the last couple of years. And I will share to you today which are my favorite top tokens that I highly recommend you to give it a look because something can change soon also for them, and we can expect also to see them pumping finally. Because let's not forget the DeFi literally suffered so much in the last couple of years. Now, after this announcement, this is the time to start changing. So we will dig about all of this story. So stay tuned. Just let me say, guys, that this channel is about educational content and nothing has to be intended as financial advice. If you want to invest in anything, that's super cool, but do always your own research before. And guys, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, our weekly newsletter, where we talk about a lot about different airdrops and different alpha. And don't forget, please, to leave us a big thumbs up and drop a comment to the comment section. That's a small effort. Do it now, please. It will help also other people to retrieve this content and to understand why this announcement about Uniswap it's literally a game changer. So let's start immediately talking about Uniswap. As you can notice also from this chart, Uniswap, after DeFi Finance, is the biggest collector of fees. The point is that until now, all of these fees were going to liquidity providers. And if from one point of view, it's good for if you are an LP, on the other side, the big point about DeFi was, why should I hold a token that has no real value, it's not generating any kind of yield? It's just about governance. Yes, that's true that governance could be powerful, specifically if it was happening like on a Cure Finance, if the governance token is enabling you to boost the yield on different pools. The point is that most of the governance tokens didn't have until now not even that kind of use case. So everything was about just governance. Great. But with this incentive, it's much better. One thing that I highly encourage you to check is go to Token Terminal. It's the best platform, at least in my opinion. I'm not paid to say that. It's just my personal opinion, my personal advice. Use that because from now on, this kind of tool will become every day more important. I will try to use it more and to share more insights about that also on this channel, but check it out. Because what we will see after this turnaround from Uniswap is more projects starting to embrace this philosophy. And the reasons are two. First of all, the fact that Uniswap is changing its policy means also that from a certain point of view, from a regulation framework, they are much more confident that being a foundation, and that's something that probably you have also noticed from DYDX, that recently has gone from just being a company to being a foundation that was supporting, that is supporting the DYDX protocol. And probably right now, after talking with lawyers or whatever, they are starting to become everyone more confident the SEC will not point these projects as securities if they start distributing the fees. Because let's not forget that one of the requirements to be a security is that you buy for the expectation of someone else's work to produce a dividend for you. And the point is that as long as we can expect that is the Uniswap company, the people who are working there, that are the ones who are generating the value who will be distributed to the token holders, in that case, it's much more closer to a security. But what we can guess right now is that through this camouflage of the foundation, this is enabling them to change the way and to start distributing fees in a way that is sustainable and is acceptable also for the SEC. Either way, I don't expect the SEC simply to give up and say, okay, cryptos are not anymore securities, I still think that we'll fight, but I believe that this step is signaling that DeFi and these kind of tokens are much more solid than the past. The second reason why I believe that also other projects will start embracing this policy is mainly because, as we have seen the reaction on the price of Uniswap. And not only, this is something that could become a narrative, guys. A narrative. It means that new investors will be start looking at that. If until now, nobody cared about the fact, oh, it's just a governance token, so it doesn't have any kind of real value. Right now, people will start wondering, oh, well, that token is just governance. This other one is also sharing fees to the token holders. Maybe it will take a while before we will start really having a deep understanding of the metrics. I truly believe that using applications like Token Terminal, and I would just give you a brief explanation. For example, if you go here into the search bar and you look for Uniswap, you will see how many metrics for each projects there are. So it's insane. You can do any kind of analysis. You can understand how many fees, the trend, which is the ratio between the earnings and the market cap. So this is something, an advanced analysis that is much closer to what we are used to having to the stock market. And finally is coming to the DeFi ecosystem. As I said, I don't expect that all of these ratio will become coherent immediately. But I do expect that in the next future, these kind of metrics will be much more important than simply how big could become a project. It will be much more driven by numbers. And that's something that personally I love. Nevertheless, this process has already started. I don't know if you noticed, but just today, Frax Finance released an announcement saying, guys, we are following exactly what Uniswap will do. We are releasing right now a governance proposal to distribute fees to token holders. And again, this is something is another big turnaround because we have seen Uniswap, we have now Frax Finance, and the probabilities to see more projects going to that direction is increasing every day more. Just to show you also the reaction that the price had at this announcement, as you can see, we had this big spike, and unfortunately, in the same moment while the announcement was coming out, it happened that Ethereum and Bitcoin was going through a major correction. Major. It was just about 2% just in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So it wasn't so huge, but it was pretty violent. And as you can see, the price reacted badly. What I do expect personally is that seeing FXS taking liquidity below just to spike again above. And the target, at least in my opinion, remains around 14. That is the line, the white line that you see on the chart. That is also the top that we have seen in 2023, so the last year. I do expect that after this announcement, the project could be able to reach that level. And who knows, if the market remains healthy, it could even try to break that level. So as you can understand from this price, reaching that is about 40, 60% again, so close to what we have seen with Uniswap. But let's try to understand now, because that's what I promised you, which are the projects that could benefit at most of that. I want to stop now just for a second to show you another opportunity that is coming from one of my sponsors. It's called Equation. They just released the version 2. And the reason why I'm following it and I'm showing it to you is because there are two big opportunities. Opportunities that are offering you an APR that is much higher of any kind of airdrop. I'm seeing many people just throwing away and doing so much effort, spending money on transactions and so on many airdrops, while ignoring which are strategies that you can apply earning for real. Because the beauty of Equation is that if you check the earn feature and you go to position mining, for example, you will see that the APR is about 10,000%, guys. That's insanely high. 10,000% up to 15,000, and even Bitcoin and Ethereum are about 5,000 and 8,000%. If you're wondering, is there any trick? Is just a scam token? No, the project is not a scam. At least I have been in contact with them since many months. We can say from like November of last year, and I have been constantly communicating with them, and I have been positively impressed. The reason why they are using this strategy and rewarding so much is mainly because instead of giving an airdrop to the users, they are saying, okay, guys, we are simply distributing our whole tokenomics using this program. So all the tokens will distribute over the years, just rewarding people who are using the platform. And that's something that is pretty huge. Right now, this project has something like not even 1 million of market cap. And yes, there is something that you have to know. This APR is only if you vest your tokens. I mean, if you claim your tokens and you lock them for 1 year. 1 year means that we should still be into bull run. Or on the other side, if you wanna have them all immediately, yes, you can, but you have to give up the 90%. Is it a lot? Yes, it is. But at the same time, if you were earning about 10,000%, well, who cares? You're just earning 1,000%. That's insanely high as an APR. Obviously, my suggestion is exactly as for airdrops. Don't just try to go after, so just spending money and accepting any kind of lose just to have an airdrop. Have a strategy, trade properly, and receive these rewards as an additional benefit for you. You can even, if you want, you can even use a delta neutral strategy. Just before closing the chapter on equation, let me add two things. First of all, also for the next couple of days, at least 1 week, and I think that it will prolong the promotion, but it's something that they still have to decide about. There is a discount of 90% of fees if you're using any of the referral codes. I will obviously leave also mine into the description below. So it's much better to save 90% of fees instead of paying them all. And the second thing is that if you are a little bit more pro, there is another opportunity is much more, let's say, safe, because you can use also a hedge strategy. And it's about providing liquidity. Exactly as we have seen on GMX, providing liquidity is paying you a lot. The same is happening on Equation. The point of why you are seeing an API that's much higher is mainly because they are using a leveraged liquidity. So it means that instead of providing a liquidity that will be the counterparty of any kind of trade, let's say a trader is opening a position of $1,000 on GMX, 1,000 of your dollars will be used as a counter position. With Equation, the same is happening, but let's suppose that you are providing with 100x leverage. In that case, it would be just $10 multiplied by 100. That's the amount it will be used. So the liquidity will be used is higher, and the efficiency of your same capital will be much higher. So give it a look. Again, as they are saying, because that's something that's really into the interface. If you try to provide liquidity, be aware that it's better for you if you're using leverage to hedge your position. And that's something that, for example, you are providing liquidity at the same time you are opening a counter position. If you're long or short, you do simply the opposite in order to protect yourself. But again, I'm showing it to you because it's pretty juicy, 800% just to provide liquidity. That's pretty a lot. But don't forget there is the counter risk. So let's go back to DeFi and let me show you the 4 tokens that I'm following and truly believe that could be overperforming right now. And if you are wondering how to discover them, you can use 2 tools. So first of all, you can go on DeFi Llama and checking which are the projects with the highest TVL. Usually a project with a high TVL, it means also many users. It means that the price of that token could react pretty fast to any kind of announcement that's going to that direction. My top 4 projects that I'm following and I'm expecting to pump a lot into the next month. The first one is Aave. Aave has still a market cap that is much below compared to the kind of TVL that they have. The second one is MakerDAO. MakerDAO is another huge project. It's about real world assets, and I truly expect that narrative to explode. And really, what I believe is that any kind of announcement, it could be just a spark, could be enough to ignite literally a big pump into the price, even if at the end of the story, the kind of benefit for token holders could be minimum. But right now, it's much more, we have a narrative, we have a trend, exactly as we have seen with AI. It was enough for Vitalik to say, guys, AI, that's something that could really benefit blockchain. And the price of any kind of token literally pumped. And I do expect the same to happen after this kind of big turnaround by Uniswap that could affect Aave, to me, in my opinion, MakerDAO. The third one is Pendle Finance. Pendle Finance, the reason why I'm saying it, even if I know that they already had a big run, is because from one side is following the risk-taking narrative. And I do expect a continuation in a big narrative of the risk-taking because that's something that's truly big. On the other side, any kind of incentive for token holders, yes, right now they do have some kind of V system, but who knows? Maybe they can just use the hype around this narrative just to add something. It's just speculation. I don't have any kind of information. But that's something that I'm keeping an eye on because the conjunction of both of the narratives together can really produce a big pump. Obviously, I'm not suggesting you to open a position right now. What I'm saying is follow the price action, check the chart, check and understand at which point the chart is about to break a major resistance. Is it creating any kind of pattern? Check it out and react accordingly. The fourth project that I'm really keeping an eye on is Frax Finance. Yes, the announcement came not in a perfect moment, but I truly believe, as I said just before, a 60% is doable. It's not for granted. Nothing is for granted. What we want to see from Frax Finance is creating a bottom over here in a lower time frame, like in this case, we are seeing 15 minutes. And on the other side, breaking it, the cluster, the bottom, with a big high volume. High volume, you can see, as you can see, this candle had an insane volume, but after that, we have gone down. What we want to see a break from the upside of this bottom and going to attack and to break the previous local high. If we break this 9.3 around 9.3, 9.5, we have the space to attack, first of all, the 11 point, and after that, the 14 resistance. Obviously, we are just speculating because everything is connected to how ETH, BTC will go. But considering that both BTC and ETH are in an overall trend, we can still expect higher. Obviously, guys, use stop loss, defend yourself because the market it could be insanely volatile. It can literally take the liquidity on the downside, wiping out, taking all the stop losses, and restarting at a speed, high speed. It's not giving you time to react fast enough. So take into account that. Okay, so my top four are MakerDAO, Aave, Pendle, and Frax Finance. I will give you two other names. One is Synthetix. Synthetix already did some announcement in the previous months, but the price didn't react so greatly. I do expect Synthetix to start performing much better. Sushi is another project I'm following mainly because of the chart. Look at the chart. If following this narrative, the price will be able to break, as you can see, this level over here. So it's about 2.08, and we are not so far away from that price. There is a lot of space to grow. As you can see, it's pretty free. From $2 to 4, there is not much of resistance. So we can expect a big run and could be pretty impulsive if the price of Sushi is able to break this resistance. So what I'm seeing is that the impulse that has been given by Uniswap announcement can literally push a lot of tokens to new highs, at least local highs. I don't expect all-time highs, but it can literally produce impulsive movements for any kind of tokens to follow them, be ready, and be fast to react because everything could happen in just a matter of hours. And one, it has pumped, it has pumped. So be ready for that. So guys, let me know which is your favorite DeFi token. Let me know into the comments section. And don't forget, guys, to leave us a big thumbs up and drop a comment. Thank you for following me, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye, guys.